Yeah, and this is a big move for Denver. This is the biggest transaction they've made in years. Cam Johnson was pretty much the most coveted wing on the trade market.
Today, I want to talk about the new look Denver Nuggets. It feels like the dust has settled, they've kind of made their big moves, and they look like a terrifying force.
When you're thinking of the biggest winners from this offseason, some teams immediately come to mind, one of those teams being the Nuggets. After pushing OKC to 7 games in the second round, it was obvious they had to improve their supporting cast to have a real shot at climbing the mountaintop again. The Nuggets not only did that, but had an offseason great enough to position themselves as legit contenders. And that starts with them trading for Cam Johnson, who's a perfect fit with this team. He fills the same role MPJ had as an elite movement shooter that's a solid defender with plus size, but Cam Johnson is clearly a better player than MPJ. Cam provides more shot creation, playmaking, not only out of attack and closeouts or as a connective passer, but you can actually run second side actions with him. While with MPJ, we know more times than not he won't swing the rock.
One more swing, swing! 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 What are you doing?
Cam Johnson also provides a higher defensive IQ and motor than MPJ, who is a decent weak side rim protector, but at times he would be out of position defensively or his effort would be poor, while Cam will always give high effort and be in the right spot. Bruce Brown was a good signing. He played an integral part in them winning it all in 2023, so we have evidence that he fits well with this team. He's a good cutter, which fits perfectly next to Jokic. He can serve as another ball handler. He's a solid point of attack defender, and he's the guy that's willing to do the dirty work and the little things that impact winning, just like Russ did, but Bruce Brown is a more efficient offensive player and a more effective offensive player in a playoff setting, whereas Russ' limitations with his shooting from deep and him being very turnover prone, which makes him unreliable in a playoff setting. Them trading for Jonas Valanciunas was a good move. He's a solid backup big, he's the best one they've had in the Jokic era, and they only had to give up Dario Saric. The Nuggets can somewhat operate the same way they do when Jokic is on the floor with Jonas, with his passing as a handoff hub, his passing out of the post along with his scoring in the post, and while defensively Jonas is below average, but you will live with that as a guy playing 10 to 12 minutes a night just to give Jokic a breather. Their last addition of the offseason was Tim Hardaway Jr., and he's a solid signing. While yes, Hardaway is a streaky shooter from deep, he brings in movement shooting and provides them, most importantly, another real rotational player. It's a night and day difference, the amount of real rotational players the Nuggets have compared to last season. Now, before we get into the rest of the video, I would appreciate it if you could like the video, as it helps the video perform better in the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe. Jokic is one of, if not the best player in the league. The two-man game between him and Jamal Murray is still great. Jamal Murray is an elite tough shot maker and one of the better second options in the NBA. Aaron Gordon is a great cutter. He knows how to position himself in the dunker spot and around the baseline for easy shots at the rim. Defensively, he's solid. He can match up onto fours and switch on to some fives if necessary, and he took a huge leap in his shooting from deep last season. Aaron Gordon was already a high-level role player, but now with this shooting leap and all the other complementary skills he has, he's now one of the best in the sport. Christian Braun is good scoring in transition. He's a good cutter defensively. He's a good point of attack defender that's at his best defending guards. He's coming off having a breakout season, but there's still more room for him to grow. If he can raise his 3-point volume to 4 or so attempts a game while shooting 36 to 37%, he would then become an elite role player. Peyton Watson is one of the best shot blocking wings in the NBA. He can defend bigger wings, but the thing with Watson is his offense has always been a question, specifically his outside shot. If he can become just a passable shooter from deep while shooting 3 or 4 attempts a game from deep, he could be a solid player off the bench. Julian Strawther and Deron Holmes are both wild cards. Julian Strawther has shown flashes as a guy that is a dynamic shooter that can be a scoring punch off the bench, as we saw in Game 6 against OKC, but those moments have been a flash in the pan instead of a regular occurrence. Deron Holmes is coming back from tearing his Achilles in Summer League last year, so who knows what he will look like this season, but Holmes has an intriguing skill set as as a big that can finish well, has real upside as a shooter from deep, and is already a decent rim protector. If he can be a real rotational player, that gives the Nuggets a guy that could be a backup 4 and 5. With limited assets in a new front office, somehow the Nuggets were able to be the biggest winners of this offseason, bringing in 4 real rotational players. And when you do that while having the best player in the NBA and the supporting cast made of good players with some upside, you give yourself a great chance to get to the top of the mountain again. I appreciate you watching the video. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Let me know in the comments how good do you see the Nuggets being this season. See y'all in the next one.